Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how we can validate Excel cells in order to capture the data that we want in a particular cell. Now, this is a video for those who want to share their worksheets with their colleagues or anyone whom they want to fill in data on an Excel worksheet. So if you want any user of your worksheet to fill in specific data in a cell, you can restrict them to filling in what you want only. So I'm going to do a demonstration with a worksheet that has a name field, surname field, gender, and age. So suppose you want somebody to fill in this worksheet here. You want to send this worksheet to somebody to fill in, and you want them to select the gender there. You don't want them to type in the gender to say female or male, because typing obviously brings in the possibility of making errors. So you just want them to select either male or female. What do you do there? Or in the field for age there, you want them to type in age in the form of a whole number that is probably between a certain range of numbers. So let's start with the gender there. Now we know that we want our users of the worksheet to select either male or female. So how do we then validate this cell so that people will just be able to select the options that are given to them? So what you need to do first is you need to create the list of options, and for you to do that, you go on to create a new worksheet down here. Just click the plus sign there and create the options that you want to appear in a list from which your users are going to select. So I'm going to have them select male and female. Then I go back to the original sheet. I select the range of cells that I want validated. Let's say I want to validate from C2 up to C10 here. So I select the cells, and then on the menu, I click on data, and I go to the data tools group here, where I select data validation. Select data validation there. Then the data validation dialog will pop up like this. And under the settings tab, you create the validation criteria here. And for me, I want the validation criteria to allow a list of options to be shown in each of these cells that I've highlighted here. And that's going to be an in-cell drop-down menu from which my users are going to select an option. And what is going to be the source of data that is going to make up this list? The source of data is this sheet number 2, where I've created the options. So you put your cursor here under source in the source field, and then you click on your sheet number 2 and you select the options that you've typed in there. When you've selected those options, under the input tab, well, if you want to give them a hint to say select a gender, if you want, select your gender, maybe select your gender, and you can say select just a message to show to the user, select either of the options given. And under error message, well, this is going to be a selection, so they are not going to be typing in anything. So under error message, there's not going to be anything that I'm going to configure there. So I've configured everything that I need there, and I'll just go on and click on OK. So each time that a person puts their cell pointer in any of these cells that I validated, this message is always going to pop up to say select your gender, select either of the options given, and they need to select to click on this drop down menu here, and they select their gender, either male or female. So all these cells from cell number C2 to cell number C10, I validated that. So no one is going to type in anything there because it's a cell that has been validated to accept only a selection of these two. Okay. So that's how you can validate this cell based on a list. Then here, suppose you just want your users to enter age, the age of anybody, of a person, and you want to restrict them to entering only whole numbers. What do? So what we do is we select the range of cells to validate, just like we did with the gender, and we go to data again, we go to data validation, select data validation, and under settings we want to accept a whole number, and this whole number is between a range, or you can say equal to, you can say greater than. So let's say we want the whole number of a person that is between a employable age, for example. You know that employable age can be between 18 and 65 maybe. I know that in some territories it's way more than 65, but let's suppose it's just 18 to 65. So we want these range of cells to only accept numbers that are between 18 and 65. Then under input message, I'll just give a hint what is going to be shown to the user there. The hint will be enter a whole number. Enter a whole number. Okay, and the long message that they are going to see there is input age between 18 and 65. That's the message that they're going to see there. Then under error alert, I may need to configure this because I don't want anybody to be lost in their entry there, because I want to give them some information if they've entered something wrong. So I'm going to have it as a stop error, which will not allow them to proceed unless they enter valid data in these cells. So if it's a warning, then it's just going to be a warning, then they will be allowed to proceed, but I want a stop error. So what is the title of that stop error? I'll simply give the title as invalid input, and the long message that they are going to see here is I'll simply say invalid age entered, please retry, like that. Please retry. That will be the error message. So I've configured all my tabs here, the settings, the input, and the error. When everything is set, I can now click on OK. And you see, if you put your cell pointer there on any of these cells that I validated, it's going to give this hint to say enter a whole number, and the long message would be input age between 18 and 65. So if anybody is going to enter, let's say 78 for example, and then press enter, it's going to give that error message that I have configured to say invalid age entered, please retry, and the person can then go ahead and retry. If they enter something that is within the range that is acceptable, 18 and 65 and 45 is well within that range, and they press enter, 45 is going to be accepted. So whenever you are then going to have anybody fill in this, they are going to fill in exactly as you have instructed there. So here on the gender, this is going to be a selection. They select male. On the age, they can select they can input 25 there, and we go Mary Jones. They have to select their gender there, female, 30, and so on. So this is how we can validate cells in order to accept input that we want. And this is very useful for data analysts in making sure that you get the data that you want, and making your life easy as well as a data analyst. When you're analyzing this data, it then means that you are going to be doing very little cleaning of the data, because you know that the data that you are getting in your worksheet is exactly as you have instructed to be captured. So thank you very much for watching this video. That's how you can validate cells in Excel. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.